You have to truly believe in the magic.
What's up, Magic fans? Welcome to another episode of Orlando Magic UK's podcast, Penny for Your Thoughts. Today, the Magic news is a little bit slow at the moment, so we decided to have a little preview of the season that's coming ahead. So we are delighted to be joined by two guests from the NBA UK community who support teams who were rather successful last year, we have to say. So they'll be joining us shortly. But before we get to them, let's say hello to my to Ant and Deck here. Mikey, how are you, mate?
Hi, mate.
Do you want to be Ant or Deck today?
I don't know. Which is the taller one?
Which is the drunk?
Which is drunk? Yeah. I'm like Paul. I don't like either of them. Can we? I don't mind. We could be anybody else. Anybody else.
Tweedledee, Tweedledum.
Yeah, that's probably better.
Mate, I've been that one before. I'm definitely the dumb one.
Dumb and Dumber. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. How are you, Paul? You good?
All well, mate. All well. Let's just say, when you said about the Magic news being a bit thin, it's about as thin as my hair at the moment, isn't it?
I don't know. There's a little tuft on top, isn't there?
That's right.
Or we had the bick out.
Big on it, mate. All
Bick on it.
all done as usual. Yeah, there's not a lot doing Magic-wise, is there? But yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Very well, thank you, mate. Very well. Excited to get to talk to a couple of the pillars of the UK community and find out a bit more about their team. But before we do that, just a quick plug. Mikey mentioned this last week, not yesterday. We've got a free jersey to give away, courtesy of Fanatics and our friends at NBA EU. So all you need to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment on last week's episode. Now, Mikey's going to inform me what the date of the episode is, aren't you, Mikey?
Am I? Thanks for putting me on
Go
the
with the
spot.
title, dude.
Yeah, so last week I got to even find it. I can't remember what day it is. Looking at the last season, looking at the schedule. So and it's got Jalen Suggs jersey giveaway in there as well. So I think we've got nearly 40 people in the draw already for that. So hopefully we can get some more subscribers and get that draw then.
Absolutely. Yeah, so like I said, all you can do is just comment on the YouTube video for last week's episode. Once we hit 500 followers on YouTube, you got to just make sure you're subscribed, comment, and you'll be in the draw for the jersey. No restrictions. If you are in the US, if you're in Europe, if you're in Asia, everyone's allowed to have a go at this. So good luck to everyone.
And just make
And
sure
if you've got multiple emails, make multiple entries, get multiple accounts. We don't care.
And make sure you are subscribed, because I was looking at the stats the other day and it's something like 50-60% of people that watch our videos and watch YouTube aren't even subscribed to the channel yet. Yeah. They'll like the videos and leave us comments and stuff like that. But yeah, so make sure you've done both. Cool.
So let's move on to our first guest. We're delighted to be joined by Matt Hardy, founder of UK Nets Fans. Thanks for joining us, Matt. How are you?
Thank you. Yeah, really good. Thanks. Pleasure to be on Penny for Your Thoughts. Yeah, long time listener, first time guest. So yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. So firstly, tell us a little bit about UK Nets Fans, when you started, what you do, your podcast, and generally the UK Nets in the community, because I know there's quite a lot of you.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been a Nets fan myself since the 2013 season, which is shortly after the move from New Jersey to Brooklyn. I had kind of fallen out of touch with basketball bit growing up. And then I started working when I was bang into it. So I was like, okay, I need to get back into the NBA. I need a team to root for. And they were the new team. I was a new fan. So I was like, cool, that's my team then. The uniforms were slick. It's in a cool city. The Jay-Z connection didn't hurt. So always a nice thing to have going for you. And there was a lot of buzz. As far as the account came up, I think I started year before last. So I remember I was chatting to the UK Nets Fans guys. because they put up a graphic on Twitter with all the NBA teams' logos on them, and they were like, "Oh, make sure that you're for your UK fan page for your team." And I was like, "Oh, there's no Nets one, or there's no active Nets ones, because obviously you guys know that just, fan accounts come and go as they do."
Yeah.
But I just said to him, I was like, "There is absolutely no way that I could start one now that we've just signed Kevin Durant and we just signed Kyrie Irving, that I can start one now without looking like an absolute bandwagoner, is there?" And to their credit, they were just like, "Mate, do it." It was Ginger Shack, it was Nath from the Boston Brit, UK Nuggets, I think, were there, and just saying, "Mate, do it. It's the best thing you'll do." And yeah, I've done it. And now I'm doing a weekly podcast, BK to UK, talking all things Nets. And yeah, I pretty much spend every waking hour thinking about or tweeting about the Brooklyn Nets. And yeah, I can't say it's been anything other than absolutely mint. So yeah, it's been good.
Brilliant.
It takes over, doesn't it, mate?
Good.
It really does.
It does. There are times where I'm like, I'll be tweeting or I'll be doing something, and I'll be like, I literally should be working at the moment, or I should be doing something productive. But this, I think, like, especially with lockdown, I think it just gives you somewhere to put your creative juices, So yeah, it's been nice kind of having it just as something to do, something to kind of follow along with. Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, and you've got a good crew. Yourself, Aidan, Cammy. You've got Mr. Hooping and Looting himself, selling Brooklyn Nets jerseys left, right, and centre. There's a lot of you in the community, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a lot. We got Theo from Met the Criteria podcast as well. Tyler, Brooklyn Nets London. There's tons of us. There's tons of us coming out, but we've got a real nice Discord group going on. There's about 40, 45 of us in there that are just, strictly UK based, strictly Nets fans, chatting all sorts of stuff. And yeah, it's been really good. It is weird because I've not met any of them, and it's just all strictly because obviously sort of coming through on lockdown and not being able to meet up and all this kind of stuff. And it's so weird. And these are the people that I consider mates, but we've not actually gone for a pint. We've never actually shared the same oxygen. But yeah, there's a good little gang of us, and yeah, it's a nice little gang to be part of.
Yeah. We look forward to seeing you all at the, NBA UK fans talked about having a watch party. So it'll be nice. I'm sure, fans of all teams will go just to be able to meet everybody else, like you just said, and have a beer and just share their NBA fandom. So we look forward to seeing you at that, mate. So tell me, as a Nets fan, how satisfied were you with the 2020-21 season for your ball club?
It's hard, isn't it? Because with a team that had such high expectations, it's hard not to be disappointed that we didn't even reach the Eastern Conference Finals. But there's also a part of, because I'm a realist at the end of the day as well, and I know that we were just injured. Like, we had Mike James playing significant playoff minutes, who 6 months earlier was playing in Siberia somewhere. Not to discredit European basketball or whatever, but it's just completely different. And, coming through this team partway through, but it's one of them, like, I know, and this is, I know that I'm talking to like-minded people when I'm just like, I am an absolute fan. And I know in my heart of hearts, had we been at full strength, then it would have been completely, completely different. Game 2 in that Milwaukee Bucks series, we were up by 49 points. That's a complete and utter embarrassment. And then for some reason, Giannis decides he wants to box out Kyrie when he's in midair, gets in his landing space. Kyrie rolls an ankle and he can't play anymore. James Harden does his hamstring grade 2. And all of a sudden, it's, KD, God love him, the best player in the entire universe, was still absolutely unplayable as the primary option. And the Bucks squeaked past us by the very skin of their teeth, which is
a toenail, wasn't it?
Yeah, just
a toenail.
Oh, you're gonna say, yeah.
I'm not. I've only just got over it, lads. I've only just got over it. And it's big, his size US 18 feet or whatever it is. But it's both heartening and incredibly difficult to think about, because it's just like, had it not been, I think that's why Nets fans went on so much about Giannis taking ages for his free throws, because it sounds really petty, but because it went down to the wire and it went down to 7 games, it went down to overtime and all this kind of stuff. It was literally just the odd point here, odd point there makes the whole difference. So that's why Nets fans are so annoyed with Giannis's free throws taking ages, why they're giving Joe Harris a hard time for going missing. But yeah, it's annoying, but what beautiful basketball to watch, a couple of times a week, you know what I mean, with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and the resurgence of Blake Griffin, the fan favorites like Nick Claxton's and stuff like that, and Joe Harris being absolutely mint. So
I know you're a big fan of Joe Harris, aren't you? You're back into the hills.
It's funny. It's just weird. There are deep, murky parts of Twitter where a bloke who's been averaging 48% from free for the last 5 years has 4 bad games, and everyone's like, trade him, just trade him. See you later. And you're like, you're crazy. So I'm not sure if it's that I love him so much, or if I'm just compensating for those murkier parts of Twitter, I think. But yeah,
I've got him as one of your starters still. I've got him as a starter.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly, yeah. Like he's still, playoffs notwithstanding, he's still an incredibly lethal catch and shoot 3-point threat. Yeah. And when you've got Kyrie, James Harden, and KD, you need them. And if you've got Joe Harris just tucked away in the corner or at the elbow, it's just like so that's one more person at the paint. So yeah, he's elite. He's elite is our Joe, and it's his birthday today. So that's another little thing. So happy birthday, Joe Harris, because I know you're listening.
There we go.
So Matt, take us through the Nets off season. What happened? What players did they acquire? I know Patty Mills is one of my favorite players who you picked up in the off season. Yeah. So which of your new players do you think is going to make the most impact for the Nets this season?
That's a great question. I think if I was to take the off season as a whole, I think the most important thing is that we re-signed Kevin Durant long term. So he's on I think of another 4 years after this coming season. So he's going to be 37 by the time he's up for it. So it looks like touching all the wood I can see, Kevin Durant's going to retire in net possibly, which is great. But then, as you say, landing Patty Mills, we've landed Paul Millsap. We've been able to welcome back LaMarcus Aldridge, who obviously had to retire. He only played 5 games for us last year before he got sort of made to medically retire because he had a heart condition. But now he's been cleared to play. So now he's back. All of a sudden, we've got, absolute clamps on defense like James Johnson, who's the hardest bloke you've ever seen in your life. Jevon Carter, DeAndre Bembry. We've managed to ship out DeAndre Jordan, who didn't play the last 16 games, regular season or any of the playoffs, and he was eating up $10 million a year. And we managed to get some stuff back for him. We've drafted, one of the best scorers in the draft in Cam Thomas, who just won co-MVP of Summer League. We've drafted one of the best rebounders in Day'Ron Sharpe. So it's been one of those off seasons where we were possibly the favorites last year, we've got even better, and that's a testament to our GM. But yeah, Patty Mills is going to be incredibly exciting. I'm really bad where I literally only watch Nets games, so I'm not the best judge of players coming in. So I'll always put the feelers out, whether it to be like to the other UK fan accounts, because like, okay, cool, tell me about this guy. Because, for example, when Paul Millsap comes in, you're like, oh, great, Paul Millsap. I remember when he was an all-star, but, that was a fair few years ago now. So you got to kick the tires on that kind of stuff, and you got to make sure that he's still all good. So, yeah, Patty Mills, I'm incredibly excited about. Obviously, coming off his Olympics, he was absolutely mustard. But yeah, there's so much there, and there are so many new faces. It's just going to be very interesting to see how everyone gels, because obviously we know what the core is, but it's just those sort of bit players, those rotation pieces, the veterans coming in, the young studs that are still trying to prove themselves and find their home. So yeah, but I'm mad for like a little under the radar sort of fan favorite. So maybe like Andre Bembry or Sekou Doumbouya, who just got in the Pistons trade. Maybe he'll develop into some sort of fan favorite. But yeah, there's certainly a lot to be getting your head around and a lot to look forward to.
You're very good at pronouncing these names there, Matt.
Thanks, mate. I would have thought as a proud Welshman, you'd be happy. You'd be insisting on people pronouncing things right, no?
Yeah, but he works with me on this, and I'm awful at it.
Well, yeah, you got to try. In fact, that's where Basketball Reference comes in handy, isn't it? Because they've got the little pronunciation on there. So that's where I
still don't
up.
get it right.
Yeah.
Mate, I think I know the answer to this question. What's your expectation for the season?
See, I hate doing this. I hate giving it the big ones before a ball has been bounced. But we were favourites last year. We should have got further had it not been for toenails and injuries. On it, health permitting, there is no one that we cannot beat. Whether that be a single game, whether that be a 7-game series. So I'm going to be very candid and I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
But I think, come on. It's got to be something, isn't it?
You're expecting a deep playoff run. Do you want to say that?
Yeah, I will handily expect a deep playoff run. I'll put it there. I definitely want to be lifting some sort of trophy, whether it be Eastern Conference, whether or not be the finals. Something. There's got to be. Nets fans have been waiting too long. I know I'm talking to a bunch of Magic fans, but Nets fans have been waiting too long.
Like,
hey Matt, sorry, just jump in there, Paul. If you play those villains from LA who wear yellow, we will all be supporting you. Yeah. Just so you know.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Good.
You mean those old fellas? Those old timers?
Yeah, the pensioners.
I tell you what, that couldn't have linked into my question better, because one of the things that I am seeing a lot is that there is concern at the age of the Nets. Do you have any concerns at that? And you've already mentioned the injury issues around. It's great having a big three, but if they're not playing together, then they're not scary.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go through last season and not be worried about injuries and not be worried about, because the big three only played 8 regular season games together before it all kicked off. But fingers crossed, and again, touching all the wood I can see, coronavirus isn't going to be as much of an issue. So Kevin Durant lost a lot of time with contact tracing and all that kind of stuff and health and safety protocols, as did I think the other ones. Obviously Kyrie is, I will die on a hill for that man. I love him to pieces, but we know he's going to have his mid-season sabbaticals, and that's absolutely fine. But I think that's where, we've got deeper and we've got better. So that's something we didn't have last season. I think we had something like 27 different bodies put on a uniform for the Nets last season. So that, that's not conducive to a very good, well-oiled unit as a team beyond the big three. So I'm
mate,
very
you're preaching
much
to the converted on that subject. I think the Magic, crikey. What was ours?
Yeah,
like 36, 37 players.
Ours was an NBA history, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it 28, 29 players? Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, ours wasn't too far off that, but yeah, it's, hopefully, and like I say, health permitting, I do think we've got a really, really good mix of those absolute NBA caliber superstars, super duperstars. We've got except Harris and Patty Mills, and your LaMarcus Aldridges and your Paul Millsaps, because they're not, they're good, great vets, but they're not superstars. You've got then, they're only 15, 20 minutes late. So, that's going to see us through the season and into the playoffs, hopefully. And I think it's going to be a bit like Moneyball in it. You're not going to put all your eggs into one basket. You're going to kind of split it off between, we lost Jeff Green, who was a really great talent for us last season. But, you sprinkle in a bit of James Johnson here, you sprinkle in a bit of Paul Millsap here, and they all kind of cover what he brought. So yeah, I'm incredibly confident, and I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's say that.
Oh, good stuff.
I'll take that, mate.
Yes. So you mentioned a lot of other players there. So let's just take a step back a little bit. How do you rate the job Steve Nash has done in his first season with Brooklyn? I know you're a big Kenny Atkinson fan before that. What can Brooklyn improve? Be it transition defense or I don't know, spacing on offense, something like that. What can they do better next year?
It's tricky, isn't it? I think what irked me a little bit, and I'm the first to say I'm not a huge X's and O's guy, so I can't be incredibly analytical with anything along those lines. But something that did puzzle me was Steve Nash was very, very quick to mix up his rotations. We'd have I think we probably led the league in different people that started the game, different starting fives. So that, it's just hard to build consistency. And I know there's a trade-off between being able to experiment with things and keep the opposition guessing and things like that. But come by the time we hit the playoffs, we had that starting five of Harden, Irvin, Harris, Durant, and Blake, which is great. But it took us a while to get there. Obviously, we had Mike D'Antoni on the bench last season, who's no longer with us. We had Ime Udoka on the bench last season, who has now gone to Boston. But we've still got a great coaching setup. We've just signed a really, really highly regarded coach, who's some James Vanderpool or someone. I think. I hope I'm getting his name right.
Yeah.
We wanted him to be our head coach, Matt.
He was one.
Great.
Yeah, we
He's
liked him.
highly regarded. Yes.
Great. Oh, great. I'm preaching to the choir on that one, but yeah, so he's joined us, which is great. Kyle Korver's come on, who's another vet who's got tons and tons of experience. I think when you've got a team that's led by superstars, you're not getting in the gym at 7 a.m. and making them run suicide. You're coming in and you're just your job as the head coach is almost to just make sure that they've got what they need to produce at a high level. And I think Steve Nash has got that two-time MVP, super high caliber player in his own way. So it doesn't matter if you are Kevin Durant or James Harden or Kyrie Irving, you've got respect for Steve Nash, which is something that, love Kenny Anderson as I did, he doesn't have that in his personality. He doesn't have that in his background. So he did well. I think it's difficult to say what came from Steve and what came from the team, but I think as long as he's heading up a strong team, I think that's good. But maybe a bit more defense, maybe some more structure on defense. I'd like to see us crashing the boards a bit more, but that's easy to say when you're watching it on the telly. But yeah, that's probably the main thing I'd say. But we'll see. I've got all the faith in the world.
Brilliant. No, it's very
is the one
insightful,
position,
that,
mate. Is the one position that you're concerned at?
Before this off season, I thought
I'm just looking at your depth chart, and it's insane.
It's crazy, isn't it? No, I was going to say before the off season, I was like, oh, we need some big bodies. You're like, there's times in the in that Bucks series where KD was playing defense on Giannis, and KD's enough responsibility at the other end. He doesn't want to be getting in the way of a 6'11" freight train from Greece coming steaming down. But we've addressed it all for years and years and years. It's been a bit of a meme in Nets Twitter where it's like, we need defense and we need bigs, and we need defense and we need bigs, and that's what it's been for every off season. And it looks like we've addressed that. And if Sean Marks doesn't get Executive of the Year, I don't know how he's done it, because we're seriously in the luxury cap. But I understand that it probably frustrates other fans that good vet players are willing to take the vets minimum just to come to Brooklyn and potentially win a ring. I understand that. I can't argue against that. But we've managed to stay flexible enough to do these things, and it's really good. And I don't think, even if we were hit with a spate of injuries, I still think our second unit would do some jobs on some other starting units around the league. So yeah, I'm waiting for all of it to come crashing down. Nets fans aren't used to all this embarrassment of riches. There's always been something that goes wrong. But yeah, it's going to be incredibly exciting to see, man. I can't wait.
Quality.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you, Matt. Now, normally on Penny for Your Thoughts, we have a little bit of magic trivia when we come to an end of it, a section or a show. So I've got a bit of a Nets trivia. So Mikey and Paul can help you if you want. So it's not going to be difficult.
Gee, we struggle with magic trivia, let alone anybody else.
I was going to say, you know my record.
No pressure.
Dear God.
So, based on last season, the 2020-21 season, I want you to tell me points per game. Who were the top 5 for the Brooklyn Nets? Now, you've got to remember, Brooklyn made a few trades. So people who may not be on that team any longer may feature, and people who were brought in may feature. So I've got it in order. So let's go with young Matthew to begin with.
Okay.
Who is the top scorer of the Brooklyn Nets last season?
I'm going to go with Kevin Durant. I want to say he's done about 29 a game. That might be a bit high.
Okay, well, Kevin Durant is a tie for the first place, which I found quite crazy, at 26.9. So I'll throw it out to one of the boys. Paul, do you want to go next?
Yeah, mate. I'm going to throw in as a bit of a wild card, Joe Harris, if he's in there.
Joe Harris is in there at the 5th position at 14.1. Mikey?
Well, I'm going to say Kyrie. He's got to be on that list somewhere.
Yeah, that's him. That's it.
Kyrie was second, tied with Durant at 26.9.
Okay.
So we're missing the 3rd and 4th place scorers. Back to you, Matt.
Okay.
Oh, I've just thought of one.
Okay, right. So this is just for their time in Brooklyn for this season.
Last season, yeah.
Last season, sorry, yeah. I'm going to say incredibly obvious, because if it's not that, I'm going to kick myself. No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to go wild card, and I'm going to say Caris LeVert.
Caris LeVert is correct for the 4th place at 18.5. Well done, Nats. We're missing one more.
Spencer.
Paul.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Spencer Dinwiddie didn't play last year.
Didn't play. He was injured all season, wasn't he?
Was he injured all season?
Yep.
A solid 3 games
I'll
or
take that
so.
one back then.
He could have gone off.
Played
so
3
his points
games,
per
did he
game.
do really well?
Yeah, he had 3 50-point games. So yeah.
I didn't realize he was injured all season.
Are we missing the last obvious choice? Are we? The beard, Mr. Harden.
Yeah. James Harden was in 3rd place at 24.6. So you had Durant and Irving 1st and 2nd tied, 26.9. Harden in 3rd at 24.6. LeVert 4th, 18.5. And Matt's boy Joe Harris, happy birthday, 14.1. I've got the rebound ones if you want to do them as well.
I'm not scared. What, top 5?
Top 5 rebounds. Go on, let's do it. Matt.
Should I just rattle these off? I reckon. Should I do 1 or should I try 5?
You can try 5, mate. This is your section.
Okay. I want to say Jarrett Allen is in there if we're talking people that started last season on the Nets.
Jarrett Allen is first with 10.4 rebounds. Yeah.
What a player. I want to say Kevin Durant there, just for because he does everything.
Kevin Durant, it just got a bit crackly there. Was that Kevin Durant?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Durant in 4th place at 7.1.
DeAndre Jordan?
DeAndre Jordan is 3rd on the list at 7.5 rebounds per game. So you're missing the 2nd and the 5th.
Bruce Brown.
That's who I was just going
to say. Bruce Brown is a great shout. He was the 5th place at 5.4. Nice. So we're just missing the 2nd leading rebounder on the Brooklyn Nets last season.
Is it the 22-year-old?
Green. Oh, sorry.
Nope. Not Jeff Green. Nope. Who did you say, Paul?
I was wondering if it was the 22-year-old Nick Claxton.
Nope.
Oh.
No?
What a player.
No, this might surprise you. This
Is
might
it
surprise
is
you.
it James Harden?
It is James Harden.
So-
8.5
Really?
Yes,
rebounds per
sir.
game.
That's crazy.
I'd never have thought that. Never.
Yeah.
I was like, right, I've got to have
Miss-
that as a trivia.
Mr. Triple Double. He does everything. His
Yeah, he does.
assist numbers were crazy this year as well. I'm pretty sure he was near a career high in assist numbers this year as well. This season as well. Yeah, what a player.
Exceptional. No, well
Quality.
done, and thank you for joining us, Matt. It's been an honour, and I'm sure we'll
Absolute
have you on
pleasure.
again soon, mate.
Yeah, anytime. And like I say, anytime. Massive fan of what you guys do. Everything, not just the podcast, everything you guys do is absolutely mint. So yeah, thank you very much for having me. And yeah, anytime you want to talk Nets.
Do you want to just do a quick shout out to find your socials? So anybody
Yes,
who wants to follow you.
Yeah, please do. So I'm on Twitter and Instagram at UK Nets Fans. I'm on YouTube with UK Nets Fans as well. And if you go to any podcast provider and have a look for BKT UK, the British Brooklyn Nets podcast, we're coming at you every week. Me, Cammy, and Aidan. Yeah, but Twitter is the best place to get me. I'm always on there. So yeah, nice one.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us.
Spot on.
Thanks a lot, Matt.
Support today's episode and visit the official NBA Store EU and use our affiliate links in the description. Shop the latest NBA gear and Orlando Magic merchandise, including jerseys, shorts, and t-shirts, available with international delivery. Use our discount code MAGICUK10 at the checkout for 10% off your entire order, or use a discount code live on the website. Please note some exclusions may apply. Now back to the show. And now we're delighted to be joined by Sean Foley, who is the founding member of UK Bucks. How are you, Sean?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Very well, thank you, mate. Tell us a little bit about yourself, UK Bucks, and your rather successful season.
It's been pretty awesome, isn't it? Obviously, I think I started that account back in January. It's been a pretty good season for us, isn't it?
It has.
Had an absolute blast. Went on about how we were going to win the championship all year. Can't say I always believed myself when I was saying it, but here we are.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong
Bucks
with a
in
bit of
6.
confidence, pal. Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong.
Exactly.
Cool. So, mate, as a Bucks fan, how satisfied were you? It's kind of an obvious question with the 2020-21 season for your ball club.
Couldn't have went any better if we tried, could it? Winning Game 7 in Brooklyn to go through to the Eastern Conference Finals was probably the highlight, other than obviously winning the championship, to be honest.
Yeah, we've just had Matt on from Brooklyn Nets UK, and he's been complaining about the toenail and the big feet. Otherwise, they'd have been probably lifting that trophy.
Of course,
So
they
you
would
got
have let me
lucky there.
guess. If they had a full team, they would have beaten us in 4 or 5 as well.
Did say that.
Cool. Paul?
Yeah, I'm just about to say, mate. So, obvious question: how happy are you with the off season? Take us through it.
It was a bit hit and miss to begin with, wasn't it? Obviously, we re-signed Bobby Portis on another stupidly cheap deal that he was quite happy to sign, which was great. But then, obviously, the following day we lost PJ Tucker, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was absolutely. I was devastated when I first read about that. Obviously, without thinking about the financial side of it and how much money it was going to cost. It was a kick in the balls that he went down to Miami. I won't lie. But
Yeah.
you know what? I think, to be honest, I think the whole of Bucks Twitter was raging by the end of that second day. But overall, I actually think we've made quite a few good acquisitions. You know, we brought back George Hill. Grayson Allen will be a good shooting guard in my eyes, whether he's starting or whether he's off the bench. I think that's going to be a good competition watching him and Dante DiVincenzo going at it when Dante's fit again. So it should be good. Obviously, I think Semi Ojeleye as well from Celtics. I think he could have himself a decent season. So overall, I think we've actually done pretty well.
It's safe to say
And
you
Rodney
got-
Hood as well.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
He's nice position. Nice position to be in.
It is.
So what's your expectations for this season then, Sean? Back to back?
I'd love to say yes. Obviously, that would be the dream, wouldn't it? It's what I'm going to claim all year, is that we're going to repeat. We're going to do it. Realistically, I think top 2 in the East, pushing for at least the Eastern Conference Finals, if not the NBA Finals again. anything less than that, I think I'll be relatively disappointed.
Yeah. So, Sean, tell us, much was made of Coach Bud during last season. His rotations questionable, at times late in games, some of the play calling, not changing things up when you were getting beat. Were you firmly in his corner, or did you think a change should have been made?
I was in his corner. I think I was in the minority for the majority of the season. But, he's not a bad coach. He's proven that by making the changes as the season went on. He's a championship winning coach now. You don't win that without being able to do something right. Granted, through the regular season, there was a few sort of areas where he could have improved. But at the end of the day, nobody's perfect, are they? And we still went on to win the championship. So something's went well enough for him. I'm delighted now that he's got his extension. I think it was the only option he really had, given the fact he won the chip, wasn't it? But delighted to see he's got it. And it seems that every Bucks fan in the world is now Bud's biggest fan.
I think he deserved it, mate. I think he deserved the extension. He's brought something that you've been seeking with Giannis for a few years, and he's delivered. So you've got to applaud the guy.
Things like, even if you take it this season, he's had 2 60-win seasons. Granted, the season in the bubble was a bit of a letdown, getting put out by the Heat so early on. But in 3 years, we've had 2 Eastern Conference Finals plus a championship win. Apart from going on to win 3 championships, I don't really think you can ask for a hell of a lot more than that from a coach.
No,
he's got Giannis. I think his contract's tied in now, so that Giannis, Giroux, and Chris and Bud's contract all finished the same year. So we've got a good head coach. We've got a great big 3 to work around for the next couple of years. So it'll be interesting to see where we can go.
And that brings me nicely to what I want to ask you. No, sorry, Jay, go on.
Go on. I was just going to say, Coach Bud's done it at Atlanta, a few seasons ago. He took, let's be honest, it wasn't the best team in the world. Al Horford and a couple of others, Kyle Korver, Paul Millsap, and, they were doing really well in the East. They just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. So, no, like you said, he's done it before, and, fair play to the guy. And, he's got his just rewards now.
I think, apart from the fact also it was great watching the fact that we won the chip for obvious reasons. It was incredibly nice watching how happy he was come the end of the season, because he would have obviously been aware of how much stick he was getting throughout the year. So, it was like an extra bit of gratification, the fact that he went on to win it as well.
Yeah. Do you feel that there's a need that the team haven't addressed yet, and that you need to address before the start of the season? Be it effective backup to Giannis, a wing shooter.
To be fair, I'm going to sound cocky when I say no, but I think the big one for me was the backup point guard. We didn't really have a backup point guard that we could rely on. We've brought back George Hill, who is not a bad player, and I think he's exactly what we need. We've got somebody to give competition to DiVincenzo again, which with him being out until potentially the new year, again, something we needed to address. So overall, I think we should actually be okay. You can always improve, can't you? But
absolutely.
We're really, really strapped for the luxury tax, the salary cap, and everything on top of it. So it's now basically making, I say the best out of a bad situation, but working with what we've got available to us in terms of money.
Again, just looking at the depth chart, you've got some fantastic options to fill in. George Hill, Dante DiVincenzo to back up Drew Holiday, Pat Connaughton to come off the bench, Grayson Allen. There's a lot of good players available to you. Really in an amazing position, and it's hard to argue against the confidence that you've got in them. Very hard.
I think we've proven it again this season. A lot of people were writing us off, and we've not changed the code of the team a hell of a lot, have we? Granted, you've got the likes of the Bulls, the Knicks, even the Nets have went away and acquired more players as well. The teams around us have got stronger, but I don't think we have got any worse, which, considering we are, in essence, the best team in the league, if you go by the fact we won the championship, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Right, no, I'm with you.
Yeah. So we know the Bucks are going to go as far as Giannis takes them. We saw that last season. So what do you think is the next step in Giannis's game to help the Bucks compete for that title again this season? I know everyone talks about the three, but what do you think?
I'm going to go free throw shooting. You know,
Okay.
he gets fouled on a lot, doesn't he? And it's well known that his free throws aren't great at the best of time. He's carry on for taking the free throw isn't always ideal. But I think if he can improve his shooting from the line, it'll be massive because it could be like an extra 10, 12 points. Look at the game 6 and finals. He went 15 for 17 or something, as opposed to how he had been the rest of the season, the rest of the series. So it just proves how important it could be if he can go on to, nail that.
I haven't got the stats in front of me, but I heard this on a podcast a little while ago. His stats shooting a free throw during the regular season compared to the playoffs is night and day. I think he's like close to 80% from the line in the regular season, but when he gets to the playoffs, he's in the 60s. What do you think?
Something like that.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's the pressure of it, or?
I don't know. I don't know if pressure's the right word. There was a lot more put on it in the playoffs, wasn't there? It was well known that Giannis took 10, 12 seconds for a shot.
No,
right? But
surely not.
I will say there was a lot of fast counting going on with people.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Paul. If you go by what the fans were shouting in the stadium, you could be talking it was taking 20, 30 seconds. But no, I think obviously there was a lot said in the playoff regarding it, but nothing was said in the regular season, was it? So he was given a bit more time. But if you're going to count it in the playoffs, you need to count it in the regular season.
Yeah.
So I think the fans getting on his back, obviously the officials penalised him a couple of times, didn't they? So, if you're going to start doing that, he's going to start getting in his own head when it comes to things like that. But there was a really good video of him at some point in the playoff run where he was taking the mickey out himself, the fact that he had airballed the free throw in the finals or in one of the series. And you're like, you know what? If you can be that laid back about it, I don't really have a concern because he's obviously going to train and get better for it.
Just trying to find it now. Yeah, he's 71%, 72% from the free throw line for the regular season. And for the playoffs, it's completely different. Where is it? Let me just find it.
I can
61.
So,
61%. So it's 10% down in the playoffs.
Which I can equate to a lot of points.
But I can see exactly what you're saying, Sean. That he's going to go away and he's going to work on that. I think that's going to be one of the focuses he's had. I'm absolutely certain of that. I mean, it's nice to actually see a weakness in his game.
He's one of those players who's clearly got a mentality that he wants to win, and he will do whatever he has to win, won't he? The fact that he came back after that injury against the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and was able to pull out a 50-pointer in the game 6 of the finals, which is incredible. But I think if he can come back working on that, and he can get his regular season free throw shooting up a little bit as well. You could be talking because teams are quite happy to foul him at the moment when he's going for shots. They know that if they get him to the basket, it's 2 points guaranteed. If they give him a foul, he might make one, he might make none of them. And that could be a changer for a lot of games.
Yeah. Tell us about his brother, Sean. So I know you're a big fan of him. Is he the next coming of Giannis, or?
Realistically, not at all, is he? Whereas Athanasius, his older brother, quite clearly not quite as skilled. But I stand by. You can't doubt his energy. He knows he's role in the team. He'd done it in the playoffs. He'd done it throughout the regular season. He knew he wasn't a game changer in terms of he wasn't going to put up 20, 30 points a night. But he gave you a hell of a lot of support from the bench when he came on. I think, on the court, his energy was insane. I can't remember what game it was against the Nets in Milwaukee. And he came on for the last 10 seconds and ended up getting a turnover because he was just right in the face of the Nets players, never gave them a second, and got the ball.
Yeah.
And you need guys who come on and just give it energy. You need that.
That's the thing, if you're down, he done it quite a lot in the regular season where the team were down, 10 points or so, and they were playing terribly. He came on the court for a couple of minutes, and again, it wasn't that he was changing the scoreline that much, but the energy that he gave to the rest of the team playing on the court and the guys on the bench. I think it's something that's very, very underrated in sport in general, to be honest. Also, not just Thanasis in general, but that kind of energy. If you're getting that for one of your players on the bench, it's going to encourage the players on the court, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely.
Absolutely, mate. 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Also,
So you up? Go on. Sorry, mate. I interrupted you.
Sorry, I was just going to say. Obviously, it was a big thing when there was no fans in the arenas as well, wasn't it? You know, you've got no fans there cheering you on, but if you've got a boy like that on the side of the court, you've still got something going for you.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and the team picks up on it. Fancy doing a bit of trivia?
Well, I'll give it a bash. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I've gone a little bit, well, different for this set of trivia questions. Okay. It's all about Milwaukee Bucks players' jersey numbers. So Sean should be okay with this, but my friends here might struggle. So what I'll do is I'll start with Sean, and then I'll go around the room, and then I'll give you all a number, and you've got to try and tell me who wore that jersey. Okay. So let's go with Sean first. Let's go with number 11, mate. Who wore number 11 for the Milwaukee Bucks last season?
Oh, Brook Lopez.
Brook
Shot.
Lopez is correct. Okay, let's go to Mr. Bacon. Let's go with number 22.
Oh, I was hoping it was 14. 22.
Yeah.
Is that Middleton?
That was Chris Middleton. Correct. Right, let's go with young Michael. Number 24, mate. It's a name that's been mentioned during our time with Sean.
He is also very good at American football and throwing pitches in baseball.
Really? Okay.
And he's got an Irish name.
Oh, now I'm stuffed.
I will try and find a video of this later on. I'll send this over to you. It is incredible.
Think
it's
of an Irish name.
I've just figured it. I've just mentioned him a few minutes ago, didn't I?
Yeah, do you want to help him out?
Shall I just say Giannis's brother?
No, mate. He was when he was in. I think was he in the dunk contest, and we felt he should have gone through.
Oh man,
he was in the dunk contest with when the second time Aaron Gordon was robbed, and we all felt that he deserved to go through. He was harshly marked.
Didn't he do the Billy Hoyle "White Men Can't Jump" dunk?
Yeah.
Am I thinking of someone else?
Bro. No, I've got to pass it on.
Go on,
Mr. Connaughton, Pat Connaughton, isn't it?
It is.
Right. There is a great.
I can't
video
believe
of
I've
him
done better. I've done better on Bucks trivia
Paul,
than I do on the Magic one. That is
20
Oh, that's wrong.
Paul, remember, it's 20 past 9. We normally finish recording by now.
That's amazing.
Go on,
Right, let's go to Sean. Right, number 7, mate.
Bryn Forbes.
Bryn Forbes.
Straight in there.
A good, strong Welsh name, and he's right there. Well done, mate. It means hill in Welsh for our American listeners. Yeah, Bryn means hill. Right, let's go to Mr. Bacon. Let's have number 9. Now, Sean can't say anything because he's just had a bit of memorabilia turn up at his door from this gentleman. So number 9. And again,
he has
he's
also been mentioned.
Has he really?
Yeah, a very good backup for a position. That helps.
Is it DiVincenzo?
No. Do you want to help, Mikey? Any ideas?
Go, Sean.
Bobby Portis.
Oh, I never thought of him. No, never gave that any thought.
Bobby Portis.
Quality. Yeah, you're right. Very good backup.
So this next one, I should give Mikey an easy one, shouldn't I? I'll give him an easy one so he gets one. Number 34, mate.
Oh, I wonder who that is. Mr. Antetokounmpo. There you go.
What one?
Giannis. There you go. Sorry.
Yeah. And for a bonus point, do you want to guess? Let's see if Mikey can guess his brother's name number.
Oh, God knows.
Or Paul.
Is it reversed? Is it 43?
Is that?
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm going to have to change allegiance. I'm doing far better.
That's it, mate. You're a Bucks fan at heart.
And you have that jersey, don't you, Sean?
I do indeed. Got it personalised and sent out to myself.
Fair play, fair play. So I have one last one, and I'm going to open this out to the floor. Actually, I'm going to tell you the name of the player, and I want you to guess his jersey number. So we're going to do a bit of reverse here. DJ Augustin. What number did he wear for the Milwaukee Bucks? Let's see if my Magic friends can get this first.
Well, I'd have thought it was 14, but clearly it isn't.
No.
Any other guesses?
I'm going to go 28. He doubled it.
Nope.
No.
No,
I want to say it was in the 20s. But I
One.
could be completely wrong.
it wasn't in the 20s.
Did he go number 1? Something
He
like that nature?
didn't. No, I think number 1's retired by Milwaukee.
Oh, well.
If I said to you, Tobias Harris, Dwight Howard,
12. There you go.
12.
It had a 2 in it.
DJ Augustin wore number 12. And I can't believe you traded him and said he wasn't a good enough backup point guard, because he is
Outrageous.
quality, my friend.
Love the man. Love the man.
Aye. He was good, but he wasn't what we needed.
Oh, mate, look at what you got for him.
Exactly.
DJ
Yeah.
for PJ, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
Effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Game
great.
changer, that one.
Thank you, Sean, for coming on. Do you want to just give a quick shout out to your socials to see where everyone can follow you and your podcast, of course? Do you want to mention that
Yeah.
as well?
Thank you very much. So Twitter and Instagram is both UK_Bucks, and the podcast you'll find on Spotify, iTunes, and the rest is called Don't Give a Buck.
Nice, nicely
Great
done, and it's
title.
well worth a listen. So before I just wrap up for this episode, just a few Magic sort of updates for you. Paul's been working hard producing divisional breakdowns for each team's off-season transactions, potential lineups, etc. So if you have a look at the website, there's articles dropping almost daily, Paul, aren't they? Really?
Yes, hopefully. It's not a quick article, I've got to say, but yeah, the Atlantic one's there, and I'm doing Central at the moment.
No, they're very informative and give a good picture for the preview for each of our opponents for the forthcoming season. There's also an article that I wrote on Darryl Armstrong in the Magic Legends series to have a little read about. Mikey mentioned this last week, but just a reminder, you can now find a brand new page visiting Orlando. So that's got all of our recommendations, tips. If you're going to Orlando, if you're going to a game, where to park, and everything else that comes with a Magic game day. We're going to be regularly adding to it. It's got our recommendations to it as well. And any other questions that you may have, you just want to send it in to us. We'd be happy to, add it to it. But for after that, that's about it for this week's podcast. So thank you to our guests. I hope you've enjoyed, Sean.
I have. Thank you very much for having me, gents.
You're very
Thanks for
welcome,
coming on,
mate.
mate.
So until next time, guys, go Magic.